for humanity at the mention of love story. Many different tales of all-conquering love comes to mind, from the Shakespearean tragedies of Romeo and Juliet to the Greco-Trojan love of Paris and Helen. An ever-present theme in humanity's estimation of extraordinary or impressive love is the array of external forces or influence attempting to keep lovers apart. Usually, the highlight of prominent love stories among humans is the overwhelming commitment of both objects of a love story to find each other. This is love to humans, that despite the earnest attempts of their families to keep them apart, Romeo will defy all odds to find Juliet, and so too will Juliet. Against all comfort, convenience, and coziness, do whatever she had to reach Romeo. Love stories of this sort throws humanity into a frenzied excitement about love and the possibility of it being so intense on both sides that it is all-conquering, even in the midst of grand tragedy. But there was a small horde of savages amongst the humans, making a mind-blowing proclamation that the greatest love story was one of unreciprocated affection, a one-sided love story that somehow triumphed over the coldest grave. To humanity, a one-sided love story could never carry enough intensity to defy enough odds to be considered a great love story. A love story is only great if it survives even in the face of factual impossibilities. And to humans, such a love, although rare, could only be attained on the basis of reciprocity, in both parties bearing equal weight and commitment in the fight against that which seeks to keep them apart. But not so with this small group of psychopaths. They babbled on and on about the greatest love story, being one of a one-sided fight, a one-sided vulnerability and sacrifice, a war against the impossible, an unrequited love story, achieving the heights two-sided love stories could never reach. It overcame a mountain far more insurmountable than the warring families of Romeo and Juliet. It breached a chasm far more extended than the generational hate between the Greeks and the Trojans. Humanity struggled with the possibility of the existence of a love story between two people in which the love prevailed in the face of failure, with only one person doing all the work. These group of psychopaths narrated to the humans what qualified this otherworldly idea of love as the greatest love story. They recounted the rather cliché and familiar story of a king robed in majesties unfathomable to the human mind. And as such stories go, he took to loving a slave. But with an unbelievable twist, the slave was not some hidden uncut gem of raw beauty that was unfortunate to be born into slavery. No, on the contrary, the slave was a blind, deaf and dumb, grotesque, disease-infested creature with the stench of death. It was unthinkable for the king to find any sort of interest in this creature. But even more preposterous was the fact that this mangled and ugly creature rejected the advances of the king. Nevertheless, the king was unrelenting in his pursuit of his bizarre desire to be with this creature. The love was a logistical impossibility, for the creature was so mutilated that it was physically impossible for his splendor to coexist with it. And to this, he decided to let go of his beauty and become mangled and hideous, just like the object of his earnest affections. He let go of all his power, authority, and beauty to be with this creature, and was still met with the grandest of rejections. He had but one more display of the extent of his love: to die and grant this creature the position he had in his kingdom. And without hesitation, the king went ahead with this ludicrous exhibition of his love, losing everything, including his life, for the ugliest creature to ever walk the earth, with no assurance of reciprocity from this creature. This is what this babbling cohort of pricks called Christians considered to be the greatest love story. The story of their king, Jesus, and the absolute irrationality of his love for them, leading him to trade places with them, forever making them kings, just as himself.